mean, the Catholic Church in America is an immigrant church.
Catholic people are the people of immigrants, the first big, major, different group of people to come to the United States.
Catholic immigrants specifically were vilified all throughout American history.
The Catholic population was very small up until the mid-19th century, and then we begin to see these waves of Irish Catholic immigrants, German Catholic immigrants, and then by the late 19th century, Italian Catholics, Polish Catholics. The largest number of immigrants coming into the United States right now are coming from Latin America, particularly from Mexico. Mexico is the single largest sending country, followed by the Philippines and then China. So successive national groups of immigrants who came in, and each group that came in had to find its place within Catholic communities, within the Catholic hierarchy, within Catholic culture. And the Catholic Church had to adapt to each new group that came in. You almost can't separate out Catholic history in the US with an immigration history. The Catholic Church and the Catholic population was just really shaped by these successive waves of immigration.
What's dramatically different is that in the 1840s, 50s, 60s, 70s, anyone could come to the United States and kind of walk in, and there was no restriction, no limits, there was virtually no screening in some ways. So I think people are kind of shocked at that. Up until 1917, almost anyone could come in. There were limits in terms of health, some kinds of health issues, but few people were actually kept out of the country for those issues. What we have since 1917, and especially since 1924, is a much more clear kind of restriction on who can come. And how many can come to the United States, and has been since, and that's been the debated policy since then.
Waves of immigrants have definitely been vilified in the United States over time, since the beginning, the first migrations. Even the early Irish Protestants that migrated to the country in the late 18th century, early 19th century were vilified. Catholicism itself was vilified. It was seen as papist and corrupt and hierarchical and anti-democratic. Immigration and labor are tied to each other, but priests mostly become interested in labor issues because the migrants come and tell them that they're embroiled in labor issues. In other words, priests aren't automatically interested in labor. It's often their immigrant parishioners that come to talk to them about various labor issues, what a union is, whether they've been deprived of their pay, wage theft issues, for example, undocumented workers coming and saying, you know, I'm in trouble, they found out that I don't have any documents, those kinds of issues. So historically, on a parish level, labor has been an issue for most immigrant parishes, and many parishes have started out as immigrant parishes. So these parishes have always been interested, the priests have always been interested in these issues. But the labor issue comes into play as the immigrants themselves come to ask them about how to deal with various labor issues, and that's how it is now.